Excuse me, Your Honour, Judge?
Yes?
All defendants are entitled to a lawyer, are they not? I will be their lawyer.
Oh, really? Why not? Being the judge, I'm all for a fair trial. No one should be able to say, I sentenced them to death unjustly.
I don't know if I want to be represented by her.
Shut up, Nate. The accused is only allowed to talk when their lawyer tells them to.
Well, what do you have to say in their defense?
Proven imbecile, Your Honour. He is not compos mentis.
Oi!
He tried to steal from me. That's really bordering on madness.
And his IQ lies somewhere between that of a jelly glowfish and a cave troll.
Ha! I am not an imbecile, and I'm much smarter than a glow jellyfish.
He stole the Mary without any idea of how to fly an airship.
And did he not promptly crash in the Northlands?
I didn't. You're both really enjoying this, aren't you?
The court acknowledges that he's an idiot, but that ain't enough to lessen the punishment.
Granted, but I would like idiot to be highlighted in the records.
Sustained.
You... Ow.
What else have you got?
The deeds he's accused of are grave. But just like one can't accuse a troll of being insolent and smelly, one can't accuse Nate of objectionable behaviour and being smelly.
Hey!
He's just of bad character through and through.
Can he give examples? For the objectionable behaviour, I mean. The bad smell is quite obvious.
Making advances towards women and promises of a life together and then leaving her without so much as a word.
Ivo...
In the middle of the night.
Certainly not sensitive, but in his defence, he is a pirate. What else do you have?
He is not responsible for his actions. He's being controlled by a higher power.
Oh, the voodoo doll defence.
Not at all. There is a higher power which controls him and all of us, I think.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. Behold the water jug.
Nah, that was the win.
No, that was the higher power.
If so, then it could get that coconut down from that tree. That is impossible.
Indeed.
You, turn around. Now go ask your higher power how many fingers I'm holding up.
It is 3 fingers.
That's witchcraft. Someone's watching me. They want to control me. And they want to drive me crazy. But they won't get me.
That was brilliant. How did you do that?
I don't know.
You mean there really is a higher power controlling everything?
That can't be. Oh, higher power! If you are really there, make a green unicorn appear. See? Just a figment of imagination.
All right then, release me. Come on, Critter, we're going.
Don't I even get a thank you?
I didn't ask for your help, and we would have managed fine on our own. Isn't that right, buddy? You see?
I could have just left you to rot in the stocks.
Maybe you should have. You're good at betraying your friends.
I have not betrayed anyone.
Critter, can you tell that person that the proof of her infidelity is clear enough for anyone to see?
Critter, tell this excuse of a pirate that I was not unfaithful to him. Even if I'd wanted to, I couldn't have been unfaithful to him. He left me.
Critter, tell her that I won't listen to this any longer.
Nate, it's about the Archmage and Wilbur.
What? What about them?
The Archmage has been cursed and Wilbur's wanted for murder.
That's nonsense. That little guy wouldn't hurt a fly.
We have to help them.
I can't. I can drop you off in Elfburrow if you like.
That would be a start. The spark of life is there. My father has it.
Yeah. Let's just go.
Are you sure you'll be able to find the Elfburrow? Right, someone's going to have to go up to my father and ask him for the spark of life. Then we have to head off to find Lorem Ipsum. Hello?
I'm not going to help. That's your problem.
Well, I'm not over the moon about it either, but the Oracle did say that I needed friends in order to overcome the challenges that lie ahead of me.
Then I suggest you look for some. Farewell.
But you have to help me. I can't possibly meet Mother in this state. The gods only know what she'd do to me.
And quite rightly, too.
Oh, yeah? Then why don't you tell him yourself that you're going to desert him?
The frog?
That's Archmage Alistair. Didn't you listen to anything I said? And what about Wilbur?
I'm sorry. I can't. Oi, Critter! Come on! Just look what she's done. Critter!
Critter! I knew that you wouldn't desert me. And that's good. Mother must under no circumstances see me like this.
I was informed of your arrival, Ivo.
Oh, hello, Mother.
I've been worried, child.
Well, I'm so sorry about that. Perhaps you should have a lie down and we'll talk about everything in the morning.
What is the matter with you? Why don't you turn around?
I'm just so happy to be back home. I've missed this view.
Why on earth did you go running after that human? I told him that he was to keep away from you.
You did what?
What have you?
Well, I can explain.
Not necessary.
Helping her. Why should I? Just turns up and what the hell is taking so long? Critter, come on, it's time to go. Ivo's hippogriff doesn't seem very happy. Perhaps she's missing her rider. Or she's just hungry. Or both. The Elfburrow is one of the most beautiful spots imaginable. But a golden prison is still a prison. As soon as I've picked up Critter, I'm out of here. Perhaps we'll fly to... whatever. We're free. We can fly to wherever we want. Mary was damaged recently, and I want to repair her. When I say recently, I mean about 2 years ago. But in my defense, I had to save the world in the meantime. I'll start the repairs tomorrow. But what can you do if there's a better use for the plank? The last time I used this thing, I blew a bounty hunter out of the sky. Nonetheless, Critter and I prefer to avoid a fight if we can and rely on our brains and good looks. When the Mary belonged to the Red Pirate, he didn't just use her for pleasure trips. They did some work now and again, as this cage proves. Some gnome engineers wanted to fine-tune Mary in appreciation of our victory against Mortroga. But Mary doesn't like gadgets, and I'm happy with her the way she is. Critter, what have you done now? Ivo's mother? Oh. Come on, let's get you out of there first. All right. Darn elven magic. Yes, I'll get help. Wait here. Critter attacked this beehive one night. He claims to this day that it was the sweetest triumph of his life. But it was 3 days before the swelling from the bee stings went down. I've never been very interested in plants, but there are things in this garden I've never seen anywhere else. Those 2 plants there, for example, it looks as though they're strangling one another. No trace of arbor, but he left this ball of string lying here. Perhaps he was going to tie up bushes with it or something. Shorty won't mind, I think. That's strange. When I was here last, that tree looked a lot happier. We waited for ages until Ivo's mother finally left the palace. Then it was pool time. Critter and me cannonballed in from the balcony. Ivo was torn between outrage and laughter. People say the water has a healing effect. Perhaps I should take 1 or 2 barrels of it with me and sell it. We waited for ages until Ivo's mother finally left the palace. Then it was pool time. Critter and me cannonballed in from the balcony. Ivo was torn between outrage and laughter. At school, I had a teacher who hit us across the fingers with something like that when we were naughty. I stayed the full 2 weeks nonetheless. Education is the key to success. I'll have to be careful. If the Queen catches me, there'll be no leniency.
I couldn't allow him to propose to you. What sort of life would you have? You'd have lost him so soon, maybe just 50 years after marrying him. Or were you planning to go into the world with him and get old just like him? That would be terrible, and I told him as much. If one truly loves someone, then it's sometimes better to let them go. You know that I can be very convincing. The human spirit is weak. And perhaps there was a tiny bit of magic involved too. If only I'd known that it was already too late.
That darn witch! It all sounded so right. I was already across the sea when it became clear to me that I might have made the biggest mistake of my life. No wonder Ivo hates me. Her mother must never have told her what happened, or she blamed me for everything. What I'd really like to do is go up there, give the old boot a slap round the face, and get Ivo out of this place. But Ivo's mother is a powerful priestess. She's probably got a dozen ways she could incapacitate me without me even noticing. I have to be careful. Why did she suddenly put Ivo to sleep? Did Ivo keep the fact that she's pregnant secret even from her parents? Could that even be the reason that she left Elfburrow? Cheep Cheep, Ivo's bird. We don't get along. He's a puffed-up rooster, and he says the same of me. It looks like she's asleep, but I don't think I could wake her, even without her mother there. During my time here, I sat in this library many times enjoying a good book. Not. According to Ivo, these are swords belonging to some of those who have tried to conquer the woodland realm. Nowadays, everyone knows it's better not to pick a fight with elves. The king and queen keep gifts given to them by delegations from far-off lands in this room. Some of them are rather bizarre. Bob is still sitting where I left him months ago. Of course, he's not really called Bob, but his elven name is too complicated and long to remember. And he likes Bob. Hey, Bob.
Nate, my boy, what are you doing here?
I rescued Ivo from Tugator, the flying pirate island, and brought her back here, more or less.
Oh, so you're getting on well again.
It's too late for that. Trust me.
It is never too late for that. Trust me.
Your wife has hexed Ivo and imprisoned Critter. I'll free both of them, and
I would counsel you to patience, my impetuous friend. What has happened?
The Queen found Ivo in the garden. She's pregnant. Did you know that?
I hope that you are speaking of Ivo and not my wife. Of course I knew.
She's put Ivo into a kind of deep sleep.
Theodora knows wise decisions take time. It isn't a simple sleep. It's a kind of time out. For Ivo, time is standing still until her mother brings her back.
And when will that be?
As soon as she knows how she's going to deal with the situation. That could take months, or even years.
Years? She's got no right to do that. We have to bring Ivo back.
Just like the polecat butters the bread of the barn owl.
How can we wake Ivo up?
Without the help of her mother, impossible.
Then we'll have to force her. She can't keep Ivo imprisoned against her will.
You won't have any luck. Fiora will defend her daughter. She thinks she's doing the right thing. But if you can make her see that she was not acting in Ivo's best interests, then I'm sure she would let her go.
I should talk to her?
You'd be dead before you'd stuttered out your first sentence.
Hey! I eavesdropped on the Queen. She never told Ivo what happened, right?
What happened? You just disappeared one night.
It was all your wife's fault. She hexed me. I was going to propose to Ivo. The Queen intercepted me and whispered something in my ear.
Her words would have just washed over you had they not found something which they were able to catch hold of.
I thought long and hard about whether I should propose to Ivo. I loved her, but I also loved my freedom.
Gods and the wise call that getting cold feet.
So she could manipulate me because of my feet?
She magnified your doubts and let you lose sight of what was really important, your love for Ivo.
But I didn't want her to have to watch me die. And I certainly didn't want her to come with me out into the world and grow old and die herself.
Would it have not been up to my daughter what sacrifices she would be willing to make for you? She is, after all, the more intelligent one.
After I left the Elfburrow, my head still told me I'd done the right thing. I wouldn't condemn Ivo to a life with me, and a goodbye would have been too painful for both of us.
But your heart told you that you were a fool.
Later I thought I'd found a solution. I'd find a way to live forever. Then I could marry Ivo and we'd never be separated.
Your heart was right. You are a fool.
Well, Archmage Alistair's been turned into a frog. By a certain Van Buren, some little brat who's running through Seastone and transforming everything.
A little girl transformed the Archmage?
Yes. No idea how she managed it. Ivo said something about Wilbur's wand. And he's in the dark woods looking for a book that explains how it can be destroyed. In the meantime, Ivo wanted to organize a few things needed to bring the Archmage back.
What sort of things?
Some book from Lorem Ipsum.
The Book of the Dead?
Yep, that was the one. Then we need a compass that belongs to the Red Pirate, and something called the Spark of Life. That's why she came back here.
I see. It's crucial we turn Alistair back quickly. He might have answers.
Answers? To which questions?
Something is stirring. A great evil. I have felt it for a while now.
The little brat with the wand?
No. Something older, greater, and a great danger for you, for Ivo, for everyone.
That doesn't sound good. But I wouldn't even know where to start. Ivo didn't tell me very much. Or perhaps I didn't listen.
I have the spark of life here. I will give it to my daughter as soon as she wakes. I can't help you with the compass, though. But I saw the lost city of Lorem Ipsum with my own eyes, long, long ago.
If I were to look for Lorem Ipsum, where would I find the ruins of the city?
Under the sands of the Amzu Desert.
Oh, really? Could you be a bit more precise? The desert's pretty big.
I can't remember the exact location. I set out from the Bremen oasis, went into the desert, and just followed my nose. After a few days, I saw the golden roofs of the town glinting in the sun as it set behind them.
So Lorem Ipsum is west of Bremen. But how far into the desert? How many days did you walk, and how quickly?
It was 3,500 years ago. What did you do last Thursday?
West of Bremen. That's a start. Ivo seems to have coped well with me leaving her. Seems to have been in a rush to find herself an elven prince.
No, she didn't take it well. She was hurt and disappointed. And no, she didn't throw herself around the neck of any elf prince.
I don't even want to know. I'd always loved her, but it seems to have been quite one-sided. Your wife trapped Critter in the garden. Some thorny tendrils grew out of the ground, imprisoning him.
Oh, an old trick that all priests have up their sleeve.
So novices couldn't sneak out of rituals early, eh?
But the tendrils are very ticklish, especially under the arms.
They... All right, then. Take care, Bob. I'll see what I can do to help Ivo and Alistair, or if I can.
I see a man with a mission of great importance that he would like to complete.
Like? All that work? All that danger? The stress? You've got the same attitudes towards stress as I have.
I can see through you, Nate. You made your decision long ago. You just haven't realized it. To do good. Be part of something bigger. Help others. We all need goals in our lives. And the greater the goal, the greater the reward.
I don't know what you're talking about, old man.